Hey traders, what if I told you there's a way to peek into Bitcoin's next big move before it happens? Sounds exciting, right? Well, today we're cracking open the world of pivot points for BTC, USD, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. We've got a fresh chart loaded with 5 different pivot point methods, a purple arrow pointing to the current price, and a whole lot of insights to unpack. Whether you're a crypto newbie or a seasoned pro, stick with me. This is about to get juicy. Let's dive in. All right, before we jump into the chart, let's talk about what pivot points even are. Picture them as your personal cheat sheet for trading. They're these awesome little levels calculated from the previous day's high, low, and close prices, showing you where Bitcoin might hit a wall or catch a boost. Support and resistance, baby. That's what it's all about. In a crazy market like crypto, where Bitcoin can swing like a roller coaster, pivot points are like your trusty GPS, helping you figure out where to jump in or cash out. Today's data is hot off the press, April 6, 2025. So we're working with the latest snapshot of BTC USD. The chart's got 5 columns, each showing a different way to calculate these levels: floor, Woodie, Camarilla, Demark, and Fibonacci. Each method's got its own vibe, and by breaking them down, we'll see where Bitcoin's hanging out and what might happen next. Ready? Let's roll. First up, we've got the floor method. This column's stacked with levels, and the current price, marked by that slick purple arrow, is sitting at 82,521.893 right on S1. That's the first support level, folks, and it's a big one. If Bitcoin can chill above this, we might see it climb back toward the pivot point at 83,391.1 phase 7, or even push up to R1 at 84,401.683. But if it cracks below S1, watch out. S2 at 81,511.367, or even S3 at 80,642.103 could be next. Up top, right, is at 85,270.947, and R3 is at 86,281.473. So there's plenty of room if the bulls take charge. Now, let's swing over to the Woodie method. Here's where it gets cool. The current price lands smack on the pivot point at 82,592.525. In Woodie's world, the pivot's like a magnet. Price loves to hang around it. If Bitcoin stays above this, we could see a run toward R1 at 83,426.473, or R2 at 84,472.305. Maybe even R at 85,306.262 if things get wild. But if it dips below, S1 at 81,546.682 is waiting, with S2 at 80,712.735 and S3 at 79,666.892 further down. Right now it's a coin toss. Bulls or bears, who's going to win? Next, the Camarilla method. This one's got tighter ranges, perfect for those quick crypto moves. The current price is at S1, 83 and 60, YU 106, which is a bit higher than the others. That gives Bitcoin some wiggle room before it hits heavier support. If it holds here, we might see a bounce to R1 at 83,704.734, R2 at 83,770.048, or even R at 84,049.362. R4 is up at 84,566.304 for the dreamers. But if it drops, S2's at 83,187.792, S3's at 83,015.478, and S4's at 82,198.535. These tight levels mean action could happen fast. Then we've got the Demark method. Super simple with just 2 levels. The current price is at S1, 82,016.63, the lowest S1 we've seen so far. That might mean it's a solid support spot. If Bitcoin bounces from here, R1 at 83,996.42 is the next target. No pivot point listed, no extra fluff, just R1 and S1. If it breaks below 82,016.63, though, we're kind of flying blind till lower levels kick in. Less is more with Demark, but it's still got punch. Finally, the Fibonacci method. Gotta love those golden ratio vibes. The current price is at S1, 82,006.73, just above the floor's S1. The pivot point's at 83,391.157, same as floor. which is a neat little overlap. If Bitcoin holds S1, it could head back to the pivot or climb to R1 at 84,109.236, R2 at 84,552.867, or RSAT at 85,217.947. But if it slips, S2's at 82,229.446, and S3's at 81,501.367. That S1 to pivot zone feels like a hotspot with Fibonacci's magic touch. So where's Bitcoin at right now? Depending on the method, it's either chilling on S1 or the pivot point itself, roughly between 82,016.63 and 83,316.106. That's a make or break zone. If it hangs tough above these levels, we might see a bounce toward resistance. Think 83,996.42 to 84,401.683 across the methods. But if it tanks below that lowest S1 at 82,016.63, we could be staring at a drop to S2 or beyond. It's like Bitcoin's teetering on the edge of a cliff. Exciting stuff. Here's a trick I love. Look where these methods line up. The floor and Fibonacci pivots both hit 83,391.157. That's a level with some serious mojo. And those S1s ranging from 82,016.63 to 83,360.106. If Bitcoin busts through the bottom of that, it's a red flag for the bears. But if it stays above, we might just see some green candles popping up. What's your take, traders? Are you betting on a Bitcoin bounce or bracing for a dip? Hit me up in the comments. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. And here's a heads up. Pivot points are awesome, but they're not the whole game. Pair them with stuff like moving averages or RSI and keep an ear on the news. Crypto loves a good headline twist. What's your take, traders? Are you betting on a Bitcoin bounce or bracing for a dip? Hit me up in the comments. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. And here's a heads up. Pivot points are awesome, but they're not the whole game. Pair them with stuff like moving averages or RSI and keep an ear on the news. Crypto loves a good headline twist. All right, that's the scoop on BTC USD pivot points for today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe. I've got more trading goodies coming your way. Got questions or ideas for the next video? Drop them below. I'm all ears. Happy trading, everyone. Catch you in the next one.